syndicated radio talk show host, author, singer Al Cole, welcoming you to another edition of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. I come from CBS Radio. My shows are nationally syndicated, and I've helped pave the way to treating women, guys too, with the dignity that they deserve, and I do that through my show. Treating people with dignity because, I'll tell you, we're all part of a human family that really has human genius involved in what we do. So we have to treat people with dignity and respect, and that's what we're known for in People of Distinction. And we have very dignified radio networks out there that air my show as well, including the biggest airing CBS shows, and that's Apple's iTunes Radio Network under their professional news talk division, airing CBS shows, Fox News, NPR, BBC, C-SPAN as well. Best talk in the country around the world on Apple's iTunes Radio Network under News Talk. And I want you to visit my website too. Go to peopleofdistinction.org. And you can read up on a lot of things that I do and see my associations with Arianna Huffington, the founder of the Huffington Post. Learn more about my media consulting. Major media consulting is that. I've helped hundreds of people to become entrepreneurial with their products and services. In other words, know how to make a profit from it and to make a living from your books and coaching programs, speaking, podcasting, everything that we do in digital media these days. And if y'all like that, well, you can email me on anything that I do as well. Email me at alcoholic@gmail.com. You heard me right. That's ALCOLEHOLIC@gmail.com. And I really want to thank my CBS Radio listeners for coming up with that handle. Alcoholic. We love it. I'll tell you, right from the start, my CBS Radio listeners invented that by saying, "Hey, Al, we love what you're doing there, brother. In fact, we're hooked on it. We're alcoholics." And I'm also a New York Times best-selling author with Chicken Soup for the Soul. Chicken Soup for the Soul is distributed by CBS's Simon & Schuster. So we keep it in the family that way. Coming up, I'll tell you, this lady's going to help out your family big time. Her name is Avalon Soulette Brown. And she's written, actually, a wonderful book that many other people should have thought of. And I'm going to put it this way, even before I tell you the title of her book. Have you ever had a common cold? Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Many times. Yeah, we can't get away from that. Colds, well, we grow up with that stuff, and every once in a while we're going to get a cold. And we just persevere, and maybe a week or week and a half, no more than 2 weeks, we're over it. If we drink a lot of orange juice and maybe chicken soup and also aspirin and all of the things like that. Okay, that's one way to see it. The colds are here to stay, and they're always going to be there, and all of the other infectious diseases that we go through. However, maybe they're not here to stay. Maybe there's something else that we can do about the common cold, particularly to help it not recur as much. Maybe to help it go away altogether. I don't know. Avalon's got some ideas about this, and she's written a wonderful book. Now you're ready for the title. Mommy, why do I have a cold? Now, you parents know about it, especially you mothers. Oh, your kid will tell you that every once in a while. Oh, I got a cold. Why do I have a cold? And you're just, well, gee, that's just the way life is. Well, maybe that's not the way life is. Maybe Avalon knows certain ways to prevent that cold from coming back, or to maybe make that cold go away even quicker. We're going to find out about this stuff, and she comes with credentials. This lady's a nurse, an infection control nurse, and she's been doing this for a long time. She knows some of the ins and outs of infection control, and you can learn from her right now. So I want you to stick around, People of Distinction with Al Cole, and listen to Avalon Soulette Brown talk about, Mommy, why do I have a cold? Yeah, and it's available on Amazon if you want to order it, Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And I will say she was brought to me by a wonderful publishing company called UR-Link Publishing. And for your next publishing venture, when you want to move a book, move it through UR-Link. Go to urlinkpublishing.com. Welcome, Avalon, to People of Distinction with Al Cole. It's a pleasure to have you on today. How are you, Avalon?
I'm doing great today, and it's a pleasure to be on here.
Yes, let's talk it up here. I mean, I'm a consumer right now. I'm not just the host. I want to find out about the common cold and other infectious diseases that we can prevent or do something about, even more so than we're doing. So you've been a control nurse, an infection control nurse now for about how long?
I would say almost 9 months, but I've been a nurse for 39 years.
There you go. So you've been out there dealing with people and helping people get through the hard times. And so about 9 months ago, you took up a specialty, infection control, and we love that. Now, you found out something that a lot of us don't know about, especially the common cold, but generally infection control and diseases. What have you found out here that maybe can help our listeners, particularly with your book, Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? How can we prevent some of these things, or at least mitigate, lessen some of these things, these infections?
Well, the most important thing I talk about in this book for the little girl is hand washing. Because this is where a lot of germs are spread, through the hands. So I want to know, I'm asking the little girl, her Nanna is asking her, do you wash your hands when you go out, when you're at school? Because you're touching a lot of objects. This is how a lot of germs get spread around, from simply not washing your hands.
We get it. Absolutely. And now, do parents really get that in the way that they should? Are they advising their kids to wash their hands a lot, or does it slip through the radar screen sometimes?
Well, I think a lot of times the children don't think about that. They're playing, they're with other children. They're not thinking about the things that they're touching, and the fact that, maybe I should wash my hand after I touch that doorknob, or after I touch that tray in the cafeteria, or just simply gel in my hand, putting some sanitizers. Children aren't thinking like that because they're having fun at that moment.
Yeah, we get it. Now, what are some of the other things that we can do to help to prevent infectious diseases, would you think, Avalon?
Well, a lot of children, they go outside to play. And because they're so excited about going outside to play, they run out without a hat on their head. They might have a coat, but the coat is not zipped up. So they're just out there playing. They might even play in the snow. Sometimes you see them out in the rain. And they don't zip up. They don't keep warm. They don't have on gloves, hat, and the coat, and be bundled up the way they need to in the wintertime in the cold weather.
Yes, absolutely. And I think we can all relate to that, especially if we live in areas that have cold weather. I don't think we're all from Hawaii, so we're looking forward to wintertime sometime, and then the spring and everything. And right now we're in wintertime across the U.S. and other parts of the world. So we want to bundle up, and that is something that, good parents are going to help out with as well, with bundling up and everything. When we do bundle up a little bit better and also wash our hands a little bit more as children, now that'll help to prevent colds, I think, but it won't get rid of colds altogether.
No.
Yeah. Is there anything
just a way.
Right. Yeah, these are just ways to help to lessen the things.
Prevent them, yes.
Yes. Now, in Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? Are there any tips that might keep colds away for longer and longer and longer, and maybe sometime we won't even have colds in our society anymore? Is that a possibility?
Well, no, because you're always going to have germs. It's just, the book is more or less telling the children different things to watch out for when they're out and about around other children or other people. It's not really going to tell them that they won't catch a cold, but it tells them how they might prevent from getting a cold. And the different things that they can do.
That's right. And maybe there's something else that they can do, and I'm sure you have listed it in your book, Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? maybe eating habits have something to do with this as well, and maybe taking your vitamins and things along that line. Does that enter into it too?
Well, in the book, no, I kind of explained to the children about how when you're out with other children, or especially since flu season has been declared as of Monday, a lot of people are out there coughing, and I'm telling the children how the germs float through the air when people don't cover their mouth with either their hand or their arm. Mm-hmm. That causes germs to float. You walk in the germs and you breathe it in. But if people cover their mouth, or you cover your mouth, if you're coughing or sneezing, it will help prevent the germs from spreading around.
Absolutely. And people, we're going to spread it around right now to you. This book, Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? And the guest and author is Avalon Soulette Brown. And she's talking it up here, ways that we can prevent colds through, some of the things that she's saying. Bundle up and wash your hands, and a lot of the common sense things that sometimes fly out the window when we're having fun as children. And if you want to order that book, have a lot of fun reading it to your child too, if you're the adult, well, you can order it at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And also take care here because, we have a lot more to say. So I want you to stick around, listen to Avalon as she fills it out even more with her book, Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? Tells a few more things in the book that you prescribe here to help to prevent colds and maybe other infectious diseases, Avalon.
Well, a lot of times when the children are at school and during lunchtime, they're playing with each other, they don't think about the fact that they should maybe not eat out of their friend's plate or eat out of the same or drink out of the same cup because that child may be coming down with a cold or just maybe simply coughing. That's spreading germs when they're eating behind each other. So everything that I kind of talk about, the story that I put in the book, I also put a picture next to the story so that they know what I'm talking about, so they can see what's going on that I'm talking about that may help prevent them from getting a cold.
Well, that's great. So it's a fun book as well. It has the pictures, and kids can be guided, by the pictures as well. Is there a certain artist who has put the pictures in, or photographer, or whatever, that we can give credit to as well?
Well, the publishing company had the pictures put in. The artist, to be honest, I really don't know the artist's name. Mm-hmm. But the pictures go along with the story for the children because the story is actually about a little girl. So the story is surrounded around a little child who wants to go to school, but she's feeling bad. And her mommy tells her, you have a temperature, you can't go to school. She wants to know, where did I get this cold from? And that's how the story starts flowing. And then Nanna starts telling her different ways that she might have got a cold in order to answer her question.
Look at that. It sounds like a book that can bring families together closer as well. The mother with the child, maybe the nanny, the grandmother with the child when we're reading this. About how long is the book? About how many pages?
The book is 28 pages.
Oh, so it's really short. Okay.
Yeah.
So that way I can picture, myself or another parent who orders this book, just 28 pages, reading it to the child maybe at nighttime, maybe over the weekend, some sort of alone time that they have, nice quality time together with the parents and the child, and looking at the pictures and having a lot of fun with this, as well as educating the child as well. Is that right?
Yes, the book is a lot of fun because I've read it to children and they enjoy the book, and they actually tell me, oh, I'm going to do all those things you talked about in the book. When I'm out in the cold, I'm going to button up my coat. So it's kind of a fun story for the children, and it's a learning process also. It gives the kids something to think about once they read the book or they hear the book. They go away remembering some of these things once they're at home.
That's right. Hey, we love that. On people of distinction, particularly. That's how we learn. We're all people of distinction. That's why I put my show together with that name. We can all share something with each other. And in this case, we can share some nice time, quality time together within that family that's going to help your child to grow and to love you even more, and you love the child even more. Through this book, only 28 pages, has a lot of pictures in it that are fun, and it can guide your child to bundle up better, to eat better, when they're eating maybe with other kids, not to, eat out of the same plate or out of the same fork or spoon, things along that line. Yeah, we like that. And to wash your hands. All of the things you parents, I'm addressing it to you right now, my parents of distinction out there, that you want your children to do, well, you can get them to do it even better with a fun book like Avalon Soulette Brown has put together, Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? And it's available to you at Amazon.com and also Barnes & Noble. So we have some minutes, just a few minutes left in the show, Avalon. And we want to cap it off with a few more things that you want to say about your book, Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? Just anything you want to add here in the last couple of minutes of the show, you can add right now. Tell us a little bit more about your book, anything else that you might have left out that you want us to know about. Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? Go for it.
Although it's like a learning book and it's a fun book, the book is actually based around one of my grandchildren who seems to have colds a lot. And the book also, the cover kind of favors her. So that was the idea really behind the book. I was writing it about my granddaughter because she tends to have colds a lot during the year. And she runs out with no hat and scarf on her head. She just, this book was about her. Her name is all through the book. Her name is also Soulette. So the story is based around her at the same time as teaching children about different things that they can do to help keep down colds or spread germs. It's a fun book, It's a fun book. I got this idea actually from a teacher that I met at a book fair. And she knew that I was a nurse because I was there with another book. And she said, have you ever thought about writing children books in your profession? And she was actually the reason that I started doing these books.
You said books, plural. You have others?
Yes, actually I have six books altogether. I have 4 children books. And I have a memoir of my nursing career. That was the first book I wrote. And the second book is a story about my father, who was a bishop, started his own church, and how he mentored the person to take over the church before he passed. And the other 4 books are based on my grandchildren. I have 7 grandchildren, 1 great-grand. So I'm writing a book about each one of them, have a book that has their names in it, a story about them. Because my book that just came out last month is called That Needle Is Not For Me.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, hey, that's great. Hey, look, people, now you have many, many reasons. I like that. That needle is not meant for me. You have many reasons to go to Amazon and look up Avalon Soulette Brown. Not only Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold, but she has other books out there that can help you to learn more about infectious diseases, how to control them, and also how to, just really get to know yourself a little bit better. She seems like a very wise lady here that's writing some very wise books and things that your children are going to profit by as well. So that's really great. Go to Amazon.com, go to Barnes & Noble, order Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? And also look up just the name Avalon Soulette Brown and all of the books that she has written. And remember, she's come to me through Link Publishing, one of the best in the publishing world. And if you got a book that you want to move it through Link. Go go to urlinkpublishing.com. Thank you so much, Avalon, for being my special guest on this very delightful People of Distinction show today. Yeah, we like the advice, and we wish you all the best with your book, Mommy, Why Do I Have a Cold? And all the rest of your books and your life directions. Keep on helping people as a beautiful nurse. Thank you so much, Avalon.
Thank you for having me on the show. Oh, I loved it. Thank you. I loved it.
Yeah.